Rob. How are you?
I'm good, Josh.
So, could you just tell everybody who you are and where we're at, please?
Yes, well, I'm Rob Alphenaar, and at the moment you're in Lokaal Dutch beer bar at the Koningsstraat, which some people still know probably as Café Pitcher, what it was used to be called, and it was more of a rock alternative bar. And in that time I also was a proprietor of the Café Brilliant in the Lange Annastraat, which was a small beer bar back then. It was small until the end, but it was one of the greatest bars in this town. and in that sense, from my position as owner of Brilliant, I organized a lot of cultural stuff also in the Vijfhoek, like the King's Day, and I had a Brilliant singer-songwriter festival. I did one edition of the historical festival. I'm the initiator of the Winter Beer Festival and of the first Dutch Haarlem Whiskey Festival, which I organized with Liquid Gold from the same street. And I organized singer-songwriter open mic nights in my bars from 2003 onwards. So, and I've been a bit quiet the last 11 weeks compared to that.
So you pretty much answered all my questions in one shot.
There you go, yeah. No, but there's a lot more to talk about.
Yes, of course. So what you just described is that you're not only a bar owner and running a really super relaxed bar where a lot of people love to come, but you also play a substantial role in facilitating cultural events here. Meet the singer-songwriters, you also do comedy events. Mm-hmm. You've done hosted my book presentation as well. Yeah, like you said, all that stopped right now. So what was it for you like during the whole, at the moment that the Horeca was shut?
For me it was a bit different because the week before the lockdown I was already closed for a holiday, which I didn't go on because I wasn't allowed to go anywhere. But so I approached it a little bit different. So I didn't have that much stock already because I was working toward that holiday, so it didn't hit me that hard to start with, apart from the fact that you have to be closed. And after 1 week holiday I thought maybe we should see this as a little bit of an extended holiday as well, because I named a few things that I've been doing over the last 10 years, and apparently I worked a lot, so it was good also to have some time off. And so the first weeks when everybody was still in sort of you're in crisis mode, I was already working on but this is probably going to take a little while, so how are we going to get through this without endangering ourselves, because you can't be in crisis mode full on. So then you just started making weekly, so it's no, on Mondays I won't do anything, because you have the tendency to be an entrepreneur, but when you're closed you're off. But if you're not allowed to open, you're always closed, and you always feel there's something you need to do because you're an entrepreneur and somebody's closed you down, you need to do something. But if you keep doing that, then you'll run into, I don't know, theories on Facebook and whatever. You'll get yourself nuts if you don't just slow down a little and be centered.
So did you find we know each other now, I don't know how many years, 15 years, something like that?
I think even longer, sir. I think 2001 was the bevrijdingswop, and before that was the fietsfabriek.
Yeah, so we know each other a long time. We don't want to age each other too much, but yeah, I've always known you to be work. So for you to be able to take time off and let things go must have been a challenge for you.
It's been a challenge, but one that I really needed to take, and in such a sense that when they said you're allowed to open again on June the 1st, I was quite reluctant.
Why?
Because I thought 11 weeks might not be enough.
So enough for what?
To find my peace. Well, to rest.
For a personal thing.
To proper rest. And that's also made me a little bit reluctant in the beginning, because I just said people say 8 people, I'm allowed to do 8 people, and I said, am I going to work full time for 8 people in a bar? I said, probably not the wisest thing to do. So I just started building whatever it is you're seeing around you now, because I thought like, yeah, you can still wait and say like, no, but I'm still an entrepreneur, so I better keep going. So I needed to get, because I got lots of ideas in the 11 weeks, and you get all the creative juices flowing again, and now, but you're still tempered because possibilities.
You can show some of the photos about what you actually did to the interior. I was quite curious because people who are familiar with the Lokaal know it's a relatively long, narrow bar and hard to sort of, when it's crowded, get to move around sometimes. So can you explain to people how you came up with the ideas and how you saw it working, and does it work?
Yeah, well, it's difficult to say if it works already, because we've only just started and reservations are slowly working.
People do need to make reservations.
It's then the rules, but you can still. There's a book here. If you come in, we can tell you if there's a table free, because like that was usual in restaurants for ages. Is you come to the door and say, do you have a table?
It's very American seating now.
So
please wait to be seated.
Yeah. So it's and it's but if you do that properly, then you can make it more of an experience as well. So like, please be seated, and you make some fun of it. You try and make it into a new experience of going out, because it's different now, but you'll be seated. So give that little extra service and keep going. And people say like, yeah, it's different, but I had a good time.
Do you have to employ extra personnel to be able to handle that?
Well, the way it is now, and with the amount of people in, I would normally say I'd do it on my own, but you can't. Really not. Also later in the evening, because when people have one or two drinks, they tend to lose their hearing, because they listen a little bit, So you need a little bit more convincing sometimes later in the evening.
You didn't finish that statement. After one or two drinks, they listen a little bit
less.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't mind early starts, but in the first weeks we have learned that probably 12 o'clock is a good time to stop, because after that it gets a bit. And because you're still, I'm still in a hospitality business, so I don't like it when there's one table and there's 3 people sitting there and say, oh, we know these 2 people, are they allowed to sit here? Oh, it's not allowed, is it? And I say, yes, you're right, it's not allowed. And then they say like, oh, pity. And it's like, yes, but don't expect me now to say like, yeah, but it's fine, I'll make sure there's no corona. I mean,
do you find out, when we last week we spoke with Faye from the Wolfhound, and she mentioned similar things about people going outside to smoke, but that they had to go across the street. Do you find that your role is now not only a proprietor, bartender, but also babysitter?
I would like to call myself a director.
Director, okay.
I think
it's a better way.
It's a better way, because then you keep it more positive, right?
Yes.
So I'll make sure that everybody moves in a way that the entire evening works well.
Ah, great.
Hopefully, yeah. So.
And at the end of the night, how do you find yourself? When you get the last person out, you close the door. Are you feeling like, that was heavy, or that was great that I could be doing this again and doing it differently?
It's the beginning weeks are actually not that bad, because everybody comes in and everybody wants to see what you're doing, of what you've done, and even if there's 2-3 people, I'll spend my most time talking, just getting reacquainted with people you haven't seen like 10 weeks.
How do you find, you're a very personal bartender. I know you spend a lot of time when you can.
I miss hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also talking with your customers, explaining what the beer is to them, all the detail, but also just having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And now you got all the plastic up between the bar and the other side where the bartender's working.
Yeah.
I haven't experienced that. You have to have a talk zone between plastic.
No, it's still quite clear, and I haven't completely filled the bar, so there's still room to have but it's more, the plastic is where people are sitting at the bar, so that it will sort of protects behind the bar, not getting any droplets on it or whatever. But the conversations don't really happen through the plastic. They're just there for general So I'll just stand next to people at a distance or at a corner of the bar where nobody is allowed to sit, and I'll just stand there and talk to people. You can still do a lot of things at a distance, and you know, I think people will get used to it more, and you know, it's going to be different for a while, but I just hope it's not going to be that long. It's good that it's summer now.
Why?
Because now people are still allowed to go outside.
Yeah.
Because if this happens in like autumn, you're screwed.
True, no one you can facilitate as many people. Yeah. But you also don't really. How can you do? You have a terrace space?
Yes, and it's. I must say that our city is quite good in helping us out as well. So if I keep my normal amount of seating arrangement, then I can use more of the street. You know, conversing with my neighbors, I can use more of the street to place them there at a distance. So yes, I can still have an outside, which is probably going to be a bit larger than it usually was because of one extra table.
Okay.
But you know.
But then you can facilitate what, 4 to 8 people outside, possibly.
12,
12.
At a distance.
Okay.
You know, because there's lots of room, so you
Yeah.
sort of like you're gonna have the same distance as this. So I call this enough.
Not fair enough. You're also quite busy with the I don't know how you would phrase it, the Horeca group.
So, but yes, I'm not a member. I'm in the group. I know a lot of people, and I try and talk to a lot of my colleagues because this is the time that you need help. But there's a lot of horeca in this town, so I don't know everybody. I know most of the people who are in the Haarlemse pop scene on tour, right? Because we share sort of like the same beliefs in that we want to promote our pop scene. And I know a lot of bars that work with beer or are in our pop beer days, like Lammetjesdag, because those are people that you see a little bit more, and we help each other. So I get my inspirations from how they did their bars. I even got some reserve terrace from one of my other colleagues from Kantoortje, so I could use it here, which gives me another 4 seats. And he said, no, I'll have this left over, so let me know when you how long you need it. That's so great. It's nice to see that on the one hand we're all being battered by rules that are difficult to maintain, but on the other hand it also sort of like really at one point it really bonds people together, and if they're open for it, because there's a lot of people who are really retreating to their islands, it seems.
As far as the culture and the music evenings and the different stuff that you in the past promoted here, how do you see that getting a reboost? Are you interested in rebooting that? Or
definitely. There was the last thing. Well, the thing that I had planned was King's Day, but we did a King's Day digital pub crawl, and I did have live music that day. So there was a singer-songwriter.
Dan German, of course.
German, yeah. So, no, it was Easter, I think. But he was playing here. Yeah, and so he's playing here, and then it's still broadcast, and I think we had like 40 to 50 viewers at one point. But it's still nice to be doing something extra than and just adding the possibilities of that. And also DJs, I had Khrushchev and Big Jimmy playing. And if there's money coming my way, I'd still like to share it around as well. And now I'm slowly working and connecting these two, because since I have only like 16 to 20 seats in the bar now, but it's is that enough for a live performance? I think for a singer-songwriter it might be enough. So we'll do that on reservations, and then we'll try and add a stream to that as well. So you just enhance your audience with everything that you've learned in 11 weeks that you never know you ever use in the bar, So I'm confident in slowly getting back to where it is we need to go, but maybe baby steps. So I'd be curious to have a proper band again, but you need to have them at a distance first, or
sure.
And then do you count them as guests or as staff?
That's an interesting thing, because I think Faye, we talked about that as well, and that would be more like 4 people in that are not paying customers, that are then cut from the amount of people in, and then you of course have to want to pay them or want to give them drinks, stuff like that. So
Yep.
it's a hard situation to kind of counterbalance when you have limited space for people.
But I'm thinking like this. We the thing is that we're thinking about a way to make it worth your while. So how do you get money on things that are easy to difficult to monetize? So I'm thinking we did our jam sessions. So Thijs Huibens and Kevin, they made some videos with different beats and loops, and we just put them out there so that people could record over it and then send them back to us.
Okay.
And then we did some things in the event and post some videos online. But I'm thinking now, like, if you could just, because I can probably have a band here playing, and I have some booths, so I can have a singer here and another musician here, and if you just film that rightly, you can still broadcast jam session. But how are you going to make people pay to look at that?
It's sort of like Patronat does.
Same,
with
it's
the
all donations, but it's it's difficult.
Yeah, and I don't really know if the donation things work so well like that.
So how could you do that? So is it then, well, I don't know. It's worth a thinking, because this is it now for I don't know how long. It might be different after today, because I think there's a press conference that might make it a little bit lenient after July the 1st.
I suppose I saw something on 3 for 12 that they were announcing today that there would be a limited number or canceling the limit on the number of people who could attend events, but they have to be able to stay at the distance.
Yeah.
Which will be interesting for different size venues. But yeah, financially, yeah. Ticket for Pearl Jam at Ziggo Dome will go from 60 to 600 euros.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know. But that's it. It's the rules. It's difficult. But back to the basics. The rules are here because there's this thing going around that nobody really knows enough about yet. But if we're getting there, so I'm thinking like, well, if you think this is dangerous, then I'm willing to pay my part, but I'd like to be compensated. Because it's fine that you say like, well, you can't do this, you can't do this. Fine, compensate me for, and I think the rules up to now are okay. It's just that there's still
as far as compensation from the government.
Yeah.
You mean, okay.
Yeah, because it's fine if you tell me that you can't do this because I said, okay, I don't want to be spreading the disease, but help me out then.
Yeah.
And that's basically what needs to happen. But I'm just hoping that it will, as long as we can keep this together, I think after summer we'll get more and more lenient, and then hopefully get back to normal as soon as possible. So.
Yeah, what do you think that new terminology, the new normal?
I'm not really. No. I do use the term the new horeca because I'm thinking because I also come from a restaurant originally, so reservations now. It's like, so what can I do to make it worth your while to reserve? So I'm thinking about events or a DJ or a singer-songwriter that will lift you to say like, well, we're going to reserve at Lokaal, and it's not weird because it's a bar, but we're going to reserve for something special. So you're trying to make going out more of a special thing again.
It makes it also maybe less anonymous. So
Yes.
you walk in, your name is in the book, and it's, Smith, party of two, right this way.
Yeah. And it's so, and that will probably, everybody would be called Smith probably, but yeah, there'll be names.
You can't say anymore. Your table will be ready in 10 minutes. Wait at the bar, please.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait outside.
Yeah.
During what we forgot to talk about a little bit was not only did you take time off during the Corona crisis, but you also were doing people could order beer and pick it up here.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's that had different reasons. One is, of course, you need to keep busy if you're not doing anything. So I decided to get people to the bar, or at least in contact with the bar on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I had a pickup point here. Basically, got everything that is in the cellar outside, so that people could see it. So this looked like a large bottle shop. I should have taken more pictures. Memories. And
are there any photos on Facebook of it?
Probably somewhere,
I'll find some.
Yeah. And but it's more like you're not thinking about it like I should take a picture of this because we're going to be talking about this 10 years later. But but it's that sort of thing, basically. So and I got it all out. But normally I have 120 different beers, and if you have 120 half crates and crates in the cellar, then it's nice to have all that money on your bank account when you're closed. So that was one of the reasons to doing the beer packages, and keeping people enthusiastic about the bar, and they keep ordering every week, and you go visit them, and they come here and they have a little chat about how people are. So it's just keeping people in contact with your bar and yourself in contact with the world.
Were you also delivering beer to people?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yep.
Nice one.
Yeah, that was fun. It was fun, and I did one run to Amsterdam once. But at one point it went so well that you're just like, okay, I'm running out of beer now. So I actually had to order beers in from different breweries from Amsterdam, from Utrecht, so I could still keep selling those packages. So that helps, because then you can phone like, well, okay, you know, I need 6 beers from Utrecht, and you call one brewery, and they join together and then deliver it to you in one go. It's all. There is a lot of good things coming out of this.
Was there did the market for beer grow during Corona or during the lockdown, or did it sort of die off? I mean, a lot of people, the joke was a lot of day drinking, you know. Maybe that was just the wine and not the beer.
Well, I don't know if that's if the people who drink beer probably will drink beer. I think the crates of pilsners, but it's I think total drinking has gone down, because I think if you're not in a bar, then you probably slow down a little, because if you're at home and you're having a drink with your wife, you probably have like 3 beers, or you'll share one bottle and then it's fine. But if you hang out with your mates, then before you're done with your glass, your second one is already there. So I think there's a bit more volume there. And I think also there are a lot of large stacks of beer now, because I know a lot of people who bought beer from me, they can't drink that fast. They can't. So they're also stocking up.
So you think?
Yeah. So I hope
for their own health.
Yeah.
I got one more question before we wrap this up, and maybe you brew your own beer.
Yes.
You would say the Hannes beer, and then and that infamous give me this beer, Eli beer, the Algemene beer, whatever.
The Run Freak Run. Yeah.
What do you call it?
Run Freak Run is the original name.
Run Freak Run.
Yeah, it's the name is based on an American. No, it's a German, but English language online comic, which is called runfreakrun.com, which is about a nun during the Spanish Inquisition who runs through the woods with chains and swords to fight demons.
Cool.
It's about as weird as the beer.
That's about it. What the beer does to you.
Yeah.
So, as a creator of specialty beers yourself, if there was to be a beer that would come out of this sort of lockdown period, what would the ingredients be? What would it be? A stout? What is it? An IPA, an IPA? Is it?
Well, I've been thinking about making a Corona clone, which is basically a lager with corn and rice, and call it Cabin Fever. But I'm not there yet. So, but it has.
I'll be careful. You don't want to give any trade secrets away. I can understand.
No trade secrets. Don't worry about it. But what would be ingredients in that beer? It's difficult. I think I'll make a series, because one needs to show the darkness of the time we were in, and another needs to show the light at the end of the tunnel.
Very nice. Let's leave it at that, Rob. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Rob Alphenaar, good luck with the Lokaal. Looking forward to coming back and having a beer with you sometime soon. Everybody come down to Lokaal sometime soon. Don't forget to make a reservation.
Yes.
All right.